news. Word on the street is that Fred VanVleet has suffered a torn ACL during minicamp for the Houston Rockets. This is major on so many fronts. Obviously, anytime a notable NBA player tears their ACL or sustains a season-ending injury, it is damaging. It's never good to hear about a player, especially tearing their ACL. It's just never good. But for the Houston Rockets, this hurts on so many levels. Because obviously after last year, the Houston Rockets exceeded expectations. They went or they had a good series in the playoffs, and they showed a lot of promise. They have a lot of young talent. They have a head one of the best head coaches in the NBA in Ime Udoka. And then obviously they sign or they trade for Kevin Durant, and that right there changed their whole fortune. When they got Kevin Durant, a lot of people said that they were the second best team in the Western Conference, me included. A lot of people said that they had action at potentially making the finals. Obviously, they have to beat the defending champion, OKC Thunder, but a lot of people believe that they had the second best odds to do that in the NBA, in the best in the West. Now, Fred VanVleet, a former NBA champion, somebody who's tried and tested, a lot of playoff experience, has been a starting point guard in the NBA for a very long time, and a dude who, quite frankly, is just one of the best point guards in the NBA. Him not being there changes a lot for the Houston Rockets. And I'm gonna tell you guys why this really matters big time for the Rockets. It's not I'm not gonna say that Fred's just irreplaceable, and I'm not gonna say that Fred would have been a somebody that could just carry them to a championship. No. But one thing that Fred brings is obviously that championship pedigree. And why this is so important for the Houston Rockets is simply because they are a young team. You have Kevin Durant, you have Steven Adams, you have Dorian Finney-Smith, you have Fred VanVleet. After that, and you can say Clint Capella. I don't know if he'll be playing like that, but after that, you have a bunch of young players that are going to be in the rotation. Amin Thompson, Shangoon, Reed Shepard, who we'll get to him in a second, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr. These are all young players in their nucleus. And typically when you have young players, you want to balance that out with veterans and guys that can lead the way for them, teach them about their mistakes, and help them to just grow as NBA players. And just to balance out the ship. Without Fred there, it is going to be tough for the Rockets. Now, I still believe that they are still a top 3 seed in the West. I still believe that they are one of the more talented teams in the NBA, and I still believe in this Rockets team because, once again, Fred VanVleet is replaceable. But he helped them tremendously with just the balance and the veteran leadership that he brought. Now, here's a couple things. The Rockets are built on defense. So that's the good thing. Whoever they bring in at the point guard position, they don't necessarily need to be stout on defense because they're going to be able to be covered in other ways. What they do need though is somebody who is going to be able to be steady on the offensive end. With that being said, there are some names that I'm going to throw out there that I believe could be amazing fits for the Rockets. Now, first off, we're just going to start in-house. They have a young guy who's going into his second year in the NBA, who was drafted 3rd overall by the Houston Rockets last year, and he goes by the name of Reed Shepard. Now, if you've been around the Players' Choice platform, if you've heard me talk about Reed Shepard, if you've heard me talk about the Houston Rockets in last year's draft, you know I am uberly high on Reed Shepard and what he can do and can be in the NBA. Well, here's the thing. We live in a world full of opportunities. And when that opportunity knocks, you better be ready to open that door. Hey, you better be ready to enter it with confidence, and you better be ready to take on whatever that opportunity is. Reed, it's your time now. It is your time to shine now. Whether he's ready or not, we'll just have to see. But I believe that he is Well, I mean, he is next in line. Clearly, he's next in line. They have it. If you just look at their roster right now, if they don't do anything else, the ball's getting put in Reed's hand. They also signed JD Davidson. If you know who JD Davidson is, he went to Alabama. He was one of the best high school players in the nation a few years back. He's a high flyer. He also is the G League MVP from last year. Now, I don't think he'll start, but if they don't go get help outside of their team, if they don't make any trades or go sign anybody else, he is slotted to be the backup point guard now. So Reed Shepard starting, JD Davidson backing him up. I'm really not mad at that. Only thing is, kind of to my initial point, why Fred was so important, both of these guys are inexperienced at the NBA level. Now, JD Davidson, he's been in the NBA for 3 years, but he was on the Celtics, and basically he was in the G League for 3 years. But when you put context behind it, the last 3 years, the Celtics have been ridiculously talented. So it would have been hard for anybody to break that starting rotation of Derek White, Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard, and all those other guys over there, Jaylen Brown. But with that being said, I do believe JD Davidson will get some minutes for the Rockets this year. Now, somebody just dropped in the chat, Ron, don't forget about Aaron Holiday. You are 100% correct. I actually was going to write off Aaron Holiday. He wasn't even crossing my mind. But Aaron Holiday potentially could be a starter on this team too. It is going to be a dogfight in training camp between Aaron Holiday, who actually does have some veteran leadership. He has been around the block a few times in the NBA. Aaron Holiday, let me see. He's played 7 years in the NBA, so he's going into his 8th year at a UCLA. He played some good minutes for him last year. He actually played more than Reed Shepard. Now, I don't think he's better than Reed Shepard, but he's potentially more solid than Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard just has a superpower in the ability to just score the ball and the ability to shoot the ball. And he's a pretty good defender. Aaron Holiday is a steady NBA point guard, and he has proven that. So, once again, Aaron Holiday could be the starting point guard for the Houston Rockets next year. And if not, he could be a backup playing a ton of minutes. And then you have JD Davidson on the outside looking in, who potentially could play his way into not just a roster spot, but he could play his way into, a good rotation minutes. Also, JD Davidson is signed to a 2-way contract as well. So nothing's guaranteed for him. But once again, I believe he's that talented and that dynamic of an athlete to potentially play himself into the rotation. But let's get into other potential names that the Rockets could look into. Now, people are already getting started on the timeline. People are already going to the next viable option for the Houston Rockets. And obviously, if you're keeping up with the NBA, then you do know that the Houston Rockets signed Kevin Durant. And then you do know that there's a certain point guard that Kevin Durant started his career with in Oklahoma City who happens to be a free agent right now. Who could that be? Brett, not Fred VanVleet. Not Ben Simmons, which I'm not too mad at Ben Simmons. I'm really not. But I'm talking about Russell Westbrook, folks. Russell Westbrook is still a free agent. He's unsigned, and this could be a potential reunion, not just with Russell Westbrook and the Rockets, who he played with in the 2020 season, but it could be a reunion with Kevin Durant, Steven Adams, and Russell Westbrook. I would not write this off, folks. I really wouldn't. And to be frank, I want to see it. I want to see it. Let's turn the clock back and let's just get into it. I know you guys are saying in the chat, this is nasty. This isn't a good fit. Yada, yada, yada. They need 3-point shooting. Okay. I get it. All I'm saying is, with a defense that's already top 5 defense in the NBA, and that's being generous. I really want to say top 2. You add Russell Westbrook to that defense, I'm assuming they get better. With the offense, with Amin Thompson and his athleticism, I know, guys, no floor spacing. You got Steven Adams, who is an offensive rebounding machine. You got Kevin Durant, who's a scoring machine. You had Russell Westbrook in there, who also is unstoppable going to the hoop. He's also an offensive rebounding machine at the guard position. He's also a dynamic athlete in the open court with the Min Thompson. Hey, I'm saying, yes, you are taking the bad in the fact that Russell Westbrook can't really space the floor. But you're taking the good in terms of his dynamic athleticism, his ability to crash the glass, his ability to get out in transition, and also his ability on defense. I would definitely look into it if I'm the Houston Rockets. But there's some other names out there as well that the Houston Rockets can look into. There's a certain guy right now who has not yet signed. He's a restricted free agent for the Philadelphia 76ers. And his name is Quentin Grimes. This is a guy who, if they can get their hands on him, they're just as good, if not better, than they would have been with Fred VanVleet. And I'm gonna go out to say better. Now, you guys are saying Quan's saying too expensive. He wants $25 million. From what I've heard, Quentin Grimes has been offered $8.7 million. Well, he has a qualifying offer of $8.7 million to re-sign back with the Sixers for the 25-26 season. The reports that I've seen have said that he wants at least $16 million. So not quite as much as 25. I mean, I'm sure he would love to have 25, but from what I've seen, it's only 16 million. Maybe, just maybe, the Rockets can slip in and get him. You never know. And maybe it could be less than 16 because they could tell him, hey, we'll extend you, all of this good stuff. However, you just never know. But that's kind of where things are right now. I believe that he will be a good fit for him. And obviously you have, different teams that you could trade with. I don't know where they would look for a trade. I don't really know who has a point guard that would be available that might just be an upgrade for him or be somebody that could slot in for him. Lonzo Ball would have been a good fit for him, potentially, but obviously he just signed with the Cavs. My man right here, Cool 3, he's saying campaign. Yeah, I would rather just roll with who we got in house than, and that's no knock the campaign, but I probably would just stick with Aaron Holiday and Reed Shepherd. But you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think that the Houston Rockets can do. Let me know if you think that the Houston Rockets are cooked. Somebody saying Scary Terry. Yeah, once again, respectfully, I'm staying with Aaron Holiday and Reed Shepherd. And I already told you guys, and I'm going to make this clear. This is going to be Reed Shepherd's breakout year. Reed Shepherd may be most improved player. I believe it could be something like that. I mean, just think about it. Y'all just follow me right quick. Just follow me for a second. We have the Houston Rockets. They have Kevin Durant, Amin Thompson, Şengün, Steven Adams. What does this all entail? Kevin Durant's going to command double teams, maybe even triple teams. Amin Thompson, defenders and defenses are going to sag off Amin to protect the paint. Whether that's him with the ball, driving, or whether that's him off the ball, they're going to sag off of him. Steven Adams, defenses are going to play off of him. What does that mean? That means it's going to be a packed paint. So what does that mean? You need an elite shooter next to these guys. Fred VanVleet, now he hasn't been the best shooter, but he's a respectable shooter in the NBA. And keep in mind, Fred only shoots 34%. And that is enough to keep defenses honest. But when you look at Reed Shepherd, he is a guy who has the ability to shoot the lights out. Reed has the ability, if he gets comfortable and if he gets hot and if he gets rolling, Reed can shoot 40% on the year. With that being said, if he's able to do what he does best, which is shoot the ball, and that's from the three, that's logo threes, that's 1-2 dribble pull-ups in the mid-range. He even got a nice floater game. He's even able to get downhill, distributes pretty good. But if he can really shoot that rock how he showed at Kentucky, it could be up in Houston. You put a guy that shoots the ball as good as Reed Shepard next to KD, Amin Thompson, and Şengün, it might be scary hours in Houston. So I'm saying that to say this could be a gift and a curse for Houston. The curse could be they just lost a veteran, and Reed Shepard, JD Davidson, and Aaron Holiday just aren't good enough to fill his shoes. The gift could be in Reed Shepard getting this bigger role. Maybe, just maybe, he lives up to that number 3 pick that he was taken at. And maybe, just maybe, he has a breakout year. And maybe, just maybe, the downhill threat of Amin Thompson, the paint presence of Şengün, the offensive rebound and just bruteness of Steven Adams, and of course, the scoring gravity of Kevin Durant unlocks Reed Shepard, and maybe he turns out to be Houston's great white hope. You just never know. But what I'm going to tell you guys is make sure you tap into the panel tomorrow if you want to hear what Mars, Big Ox, Chill, Penn, Swiper, Jordan, and all the good guys have to say about what Houston's going to do next. In the meantime, y'all, in between time, I'll catch up with y'all on another breaking news probably tomorrow. You never know. Sooner than later. Make sure you download Splash Sports where you can make your picks. The link is in the description, and you will compete against fans, not against the house. That's what amateurs do. We'll catch you in the winter.